can't talk about them. I know that there's some struggle around that business. So as attractive as it is, there are also downsides. So you need to know. I was part of a team that built a platform called AgroVerify, and we're really very excited about it. One of the challenges we had was monetization. Okay, we have all this data we can verify, but who is going to pay for the services? Who is going to pay for it? So as we think about tech, please think about monetization and sustainability of the business. So it is very, very important that as we're having this conversation today, please always think about monetization. If this was 10 years ago, I would have told you a lot of exciting things. But now, whenever, based on my experience and what I've seen in the marketplace, whenever you bring any idea to me, the first thing I ask you is, how are you going to monetize it? How are you going to make money from this beautiful idea or this beautiful concept? And I'll tell you why. Just two quick examples before I move to the final stages of my keynote. One of them is there's a company in Kenya I read about. There is 17.5 million US dollars. I'll find the name before the end of this session. Yes, I found it. I procure. There is 17.5 million US dollars. They failed. In fact, they are currently in administration under the management of KPMG, right? Is I procure, provide verification, provide information, give farmers access to markets, access to finance, but they could not monetize. There's another one, Grow Intelligence. Same thing in Kenya too. They lost a lot of money after raising $170 million. They were not able to make money. And then you want to come back to Nigeria and say, what has happened in Nigeria? There's HO there's one I'll keep forgetting there are quite a number of them in Nigeria that have not worked well. Some collected money from people. So before we talk about tech in agriculture in Nigeria, you have to understand the sector, you have to understand what is there, and you have to know what you are looking for, because it is not just enough for us to talk about technology. Let us talk about technology that works, technology that solves the immediate problems. And as you can see, there have been some success stories in Nigeria. Digital services that have enabled farmers access finance, inputs, markets, advisory. So you're looking at people like Heads and Herald's Marketplace that was launched early this year. There's Afrimash. I mean, fantastic platform, Afrimash, providing access to materials, equipment for farmers, day-old chicks, for farmers in different parts of this country. So there's livestock 247, right? So all of these platforms are solving real problems. So let us not just look at the technology. Let us look at how you make money from it. There are IoT and smart farming tools, very good. There's mechanized, sorry, there are platforms that a Hello Tractor that gives people access to tractors, very, very good, right? And they're solving real problems. That's why they are making money. But once you have a solution that is not a pain point, people will not pay for it. You know, we there's this saying that if you are creating a product, please create a painkiller, something that if the person does not buy it, they will not rest. If I have a headache, until that headache stops, it will not end. I never had migraine until a few years ago when I was still running my granite oil factory. So I just noticed all of a sudden at night I can't sleep. The back of my head will just be pounding, pounding. I said, ah, the first day I thought maybe I was just tired. So by the second day, I went to see a doctor. The doctor said, ah, that's migraine now. What are you thinking about? I have to take Nurofen, 800 grams. If I take Nurofen, 800 grams, after 2 hours, I've woken up. The doctor said, there's something wrong with you. You have to stop. Until I take a painkiller, that migraine will not stop. But the time I was taking that migraine, I'm not sure I remember to take vitamin C or my multivitamins because I just needed to cure the headache. So your product must be like a painkiller that if I don't get that product, I will not be able to produce. People will pay anything for it. But if it's just a nice to have, they won't pay for it. Farmers are dealing with a lot of problems. We are thinking of clearing the farm. You're thinking of buying fertilizer. You're thinking of labor, right? You're thinking of weeding, and then you're thinking of security. You're protecting yourself from headsmen. You don't want any fancy gadgets that come and distract you. So we need real technology that can create jobs, such as the ones that have facilitated more than 10,000 transactions and created jobs. So we still have challenges, but it's doable. In fact, I see all the challenges as opportunities for business. Digital literacy is a huge challenge, right? Cost is also high. The cost of smartphones are high. The cost of even buying a phone is high. The internet telephone penetration in Nigeria is relatively low. I think we have less than 100 million, 140 million lines in Nigeria. Those are numbers, meaning there are some people who have 4 5 numbers. Internet penetration is still also very low. However, the upside is we have more than 35 million Nigerians on social media. More than 35 million. So that's a lot. That is a lot. There are women who need to know about tech. There are women who need to understand digital literacy. There are women who even need to know how to buy phones. I know somebody, there are a lot of people who don't have phones. I mean, I have a relative that I was talking to. I said, oh, give me your number. And she said she doesn't have a phone. And this was like 2 years ago. I said, how can you not have a phone? GSM has been in Nigeria for almost 20 years. And she said she can't buy a phone. Now, if she wants to talk, it's her husband's phone that she uses. I had to buy a phone. The moment I saw that, I said there are a lot of people who don't have phones. So that's also an opportunity to solve a problem. There's a need to train people on digital skills. There are rooms for PPPs, public-private partnerships. We have room to introduce technology into agribusiness. But here's the thing. I will not dwell on the solutions. Like what I said, the barriers are there, but it's also opportunity for business. The challenge is we all tend to go like herds in one direction. Maybe everybody will be doing crowdfunding. Once the people see one person doing one thing, everybody will rush there. Marketplace, everybody will go marketplace for everything. No, it doesn't work like that. Always pick a problem that you know people really have and solve it instead of just copycat businesses. That is where the challenges are. Are there opportunities? Very huge ones. And that is why we have identified our panelists to share their own success stories and also to let you know how you can play in the agribusiness value chain using technology. And why is technology good? I'll tell you, in the past few years, in fact, in the past 12 months in particular, I've had cause to work with entrepreneurs across Africa and the United Kingdom from different countries in Africa. They all have tech solutions. And what's the one thing I identified? Africa has homogeneous problems. We have the same problem. I'm listening to somebody in Zimbabwe and I feel like this is a problem we have in Nigeria. I'm listening to someone who is in Uganda. I'm like, this is a problem we have in Nigeria. I'm listening to someone in Sudan who is from Sudan and I'm like, these are Nigerian problems. And so they are all across Africa. We have the same challenges. Even when you look at the Maghreb region, maybe Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and co, we still have slightly similar problems. But you see, sub-Saharan Africa, I can go and live in Uganda or Kenya and solve their problems because they are the kind of problems we have here. So whatever solution you can create for Nigeria can go around Africa. So as we enter this conversation today, let's think of solving Nigeria's problem. If we solve our problems in Nigeria, we can take them across Africa. Let me share a secret that everybody probably knows. The rest of Africa is waiting for Nigeria. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says the world is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. The rest of Africa is waiting for the manifestation of Nigeria. They're waiting for our leadership, both in the government and in the private sector. So we should not feel like Nigeria. When people say Nigeria is finished, I'm like, what do you mean by that? Have you been to a Butero market? Have you been to my 12 market? Have you been to Oyinbo market? I'm going there tomorrow morning by 6 o'clock. Oyinbo never sleeps. So please, let us leave politics for the politicians and let us concentrate on what we can do. Think more of what we can do. I share statistics that in 2024, Nigeria did 1.1 quadrillion in electronic money transfers. Do you know what quadrillion is? It's one after trillion. And then how much is the entire budget of the federal and state governments for last year? It wasn't up to 100 trillion naira, meaning more than 900 trillion is outside of government spending. It's in the private sector. People are making money. Let us leave politicians to do politics. When it's time to vote, we'll go and vote. We do our civic response. But let's concentrate on solving the problems of Nigeria, because there are so many opportunities for us to deal with. And that's why we created this platform, so that we can rub minds and have opportunities. And one of the next things we are going to start doing in 2026 is to have master classes where we can actually sit down with people. Our master classes are not lectures. We share insights, and then we really sit down and solve some problems with you, so that we can start taking action. I'm tired of lectures and meetings that don't lead to action. So from January 2029, 2026, we'll start having master classes that you can come to, bring a problem, and we'll work on it together. So having said that, I want to thank all of you for listening to me, and invite Olaoluwa to introduce our panel so that we can have a robust panel discussion and then take your questions and answers. So over to you, Olaoluwa. Olaoluwa, are you there? I hope I haven't been talking to myself. Doctor Olaoluwa Bamigbe.
Yes, ma.
I was worried though. I thought I was talking to myself.
No. We could hear you. Thank you very much, ma. We could hear you.
Okay. So over to you now.
All right, ma. Thank you very much, ma, for that beautiful presentation. That was powerful. I want to confirm. Let's share emojis. Let's react. Reactions. It could be chats. Let's see. I mean, so that it won't be as if the doctor was talking to herself. Correct. Yeah, Bishop. Thank you, Mr. Tumishe. Thank you, Oluwaseun. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that beautiful, keynote. I mean, that shows that anytime, you're always ready for the youth, your interest, your passion. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Dowu. So moving on quickly, thank you, Mrs. Sajeri. Thank you for always being, supportive everywhere. Jumoke, thank you, everyone. So, Grace, thank you. Obi Richard, thank you. So, moving on, I would like to quickly introduce the speakers. I don't want us to waste too much time on that. Probably we drop their images in the chat. I want us to move quickly. So I will start with, how I know them personally. I won't probably do a book, introduction. I will just do more personal introduction. So starting from Mr. Tumishe Olagbaju. Mr. Tumishe Olagbaju is a renowned livestock specialist in Nigeria.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Pardon me, I'm using two devices because of Nigerian network. Pardon me. Can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. Let me use it. All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Tumishe Olagbaju, I know him personally. He's a renowned livestock expert in Nigeria. His story is very dynamic and unique, interesting, passionate. He lived and studied in the UK, in the EU. He just came back from the FAO, meeting. He talked about youth and agriculture, representing Nigerian well, livestock well. I won't want to do too much of book introduction. I mean, he's a great man with integrity. For several years, he's been in business. He's a friend. But I can tell you for free that this is a man that is passionate about youth and agriculture. I mean, succinctly, very soon we do the formal introduction. Probably we speak for himself as well. Ajibola Matthews is a talented, dynamic, young, old man. Very sound, interesting. His story is very unique as well. Ajibola Matthew was admitted to study agriculture in the university, but based on interest, he left. I mean, whenever he's supposed to be in class for agriculture, he goes to tech department to learn whatever they were doing there. And today, Ajibola Matthew is more of a tech person than an agricultural person. He has all the degrees, but he's super sound, super smart. He doesn't sleep. I always, whenever I'm in Ibadan, I stay with him in his house. He sleeps for less than 3 hours. He wakes up, goes to code. He has several patents in Nigeria and outside the country as well. And then moving on to my beautiful Grace. Grace was our intern on Maltronics, project in IITA, where she served diligently. I can recommend Grace to anybody, anytime, anywhere. She served diligently. All the male counterparts, interns, coppers, even staffs couldn't match up Grace's energy. She was a student then, but now she's a graduate. So, like I said, I won't do formal introduction. I'll just do more personal introduction, and then okay, let's now move quickly, to them speaking by themselves for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, more like an introduction, and then we can now move to Dr. Eileen to take over from there. So let's start from Mr. Tumishi. After Mr. Tumishi, for 3 or 5 minutes, we can move to Matthew. After Matthew, Grace, just a brief introduction about what you do in the space, and then Miss Dr. Eileen will take over from there. You can take over, Mr. Tumishi. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Mr. Bangoye. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Yes, thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to what we're doing. Like rightly said, Tumishi Olagbaju is my name. I'm based in Ibadan. Well, I do not have any formal education in Europe, but I've gone to undergo a series of trainings. As a matter of personal development. Like rightly said, we were both together in France at Summit while I went to, learn about latest technology. And it's very sad that I felt that the world has really advanced, we are behind. And they are not really thinking about us, because many of those technologies, how many of our smallholder farmers can afford them? So it therefore means that we need to begin to look at indigenous solutions. So that was my, take home from Summit Expo in France this year. Well, I'm a farmer. I'm an animal scientist. I am currently running my PhD in Bowen University. I actually came from the background of chemistry, but some years back, I felt there are a lot of opportunities in agri space, particularly livestock, and of course, my company, Revipo Concepts, has been, supporting livestock space with technology, and we've been, deploying that in our production. I may have more opportunity to talk about that, so I can give other people to introduce themselves. I'm the managing director of Real People Concepts. I'm the project lead of RPC Cattle Hub. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I was overzealous saying that you had, degrees. I never know, but I know you do more in Europe than in Nigeria. I know you. So, but it's okay. Over to you, Matthew. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that one. Thank you, sir. Matthew, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Olalu. Great time to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Matthew Ajibola Oluwatosin, and I'm the founders and CTO of Maltronics Systems. So at Maltronics System, what we're into developing proprietary hardware and softwares for different fields. So most of the sectors recently now that we are focusing on is agriculture. So we're building smart solutions that is marketable, not just creating a solution that you can't take off from the shelf. So we're building system that is made in Africa for Africans and that it can scale and compete with other products abroad. So one of the solutions that we have successfully created and generated funds it's not raising fund, but client paying in millions for that. That is iWet. And I always tell people I sell water. I sell water to smallholder farmers. But how do we sell water to smallholder farmers? We're using technologies. We're using IoT solutions, sensors to be able to sell water to farmers. Later now we're doing what is called water as a services. So whereby you can pay for volume of water that you use on your farm as you are paying for your energy. So we'll be doing that, and we can, according to what Dr. said earlier, Dr. Lynn said earlier, it's affordability, scalability, how you turn idea to money, and we're able to turn the idea to money, and being in the market over like more than 3 years now. So that's a little bit. My background is in agri-science and also in telecommunications. So as Dr. Lalu said, agri for me was like an error, but I later turned into what has made me who I am today and to be able to take me places. And I really appreciate that. And meeting Dr. Lalu also has been a very, very great contributor to our company, because I think Dr. Lalu was a great gift that Gain Challenge gave me 3 years ago, and that has been very, very impactful and great time. And I believe during the course of this period, we definitely talk more about the technologies and things that we can do. And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Ajibola Matthews, for that brief introduction. Like you said, we cascade, into the main meat of this conversation, why Dr. Ellen will take over. All right. My amazing Grace.
Thank you so much for having me. I am Grace Owakore, and I'm a fresh graduate of Afe Babala University from a graduate of mechatronics engineering. And I'm really into developing technological solutions that advance different fields like agriculture. So yeah, that's me. I even interned with Maltronics Systems. That was last year, where we worked on the iWet project, deploying irrigation in IITA. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Grace. I know, this is more like spotlighting. I'm sure you will learn a lot, just like you did with us on Maltronics. You are here to learn a lot. Trust me. Trust me. Just relax. So over to you, Dr. Eileen Emore. We have, our beautiful speakers, amazing, intelligent. So you can have the conversations. Anything as you are led. Over to you, ma. Thank you, ma.
No, it shouldn't be as I'm led. We are a structured
conversation. I know.
A structured session. So what I'll do is I'll get each of our panelists to expand on what they have already said. Our topic for today is on how we can use technology to attract young people into agribusiness. And then what are the opportunities in agribusiness, especially using technology? So what we'll do is we'll give each panelist 3 minutes to expand some more on the work they do, right? The work you do, how it's contributing to agribusiness, and what are the opportunities that you are using technology to create. So that's how we will go for this. So I will start with ladies first, if the gentlemen don't mind. Mr. Atumishe, do you mind?
Please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Matthew, do you mind?
Not at all, not at all, huh?
Okay, so Grace, it's us now. So let's do the Beijing conference. Can you please share with us what work have you done in the agribusiness space so far using technology? What are the opportunities that you see and the work you have done so far?
Okay,
Grace,
so can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so like I said earlier, I interned with Maltronic System Limited, and we were working on irrigation deployment. So yeah, we worked on using solar energy, renewable energy, to generate energy for distributing water on farms, like on the field. So yeah, that was major work I did in agriculture. Opportunities that I believe are in agribusiness is when I was doing my final year project back then, so a lot of people had this, like young people, they wanted to do technologies for agriculture, like provide solutions to problems. Some of the problems they were solving was in terms of labor, like weeding, planting, spraying, all of that. So like they designed some technology in that aspect that they actually went for a competition. I can't remember the name of the competition where they got first position. I can't remember how much they gave them in full, but like the point is they created this tech solution for planting maize instead of using tractors. I know, yes, people use tractors nowadays, but for small older farmers, they created like a lower cost alternative that they could use on their field. And yes, that's some of the technologies that people could look into for agribusinesses that could win them. So yeah, there are a lot of tech things that people could do. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So tell us a bit about your experience at Maltronics.
Okay, it was an amazing experience. I didn't really know much about irrigation when I joined them. So yeah, for me, it was a learning curve from the whole the installation, the whole process, the building, and the rest, to when we finally commissioned, then even maintaining the system through the dry season and time when there was not really much rainfall and they needed water. So yeah, the experience was really nice.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think at this point, I'm going to invite the CEO of Maltronics to throw more light on what Maltronics is doing, the problem they are solving, and opportunities for others. Just to build on what Grace has said. Thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Great time to be here. So for us at Maltronics, and what really made us to be able to focus majorly for the past like 5 years now on creating solutions for agricultural sector. It was one of the back then when I was writing my final year project. Despite agriculture for me wasn't my major things I wanted to study. Going back for my second degree, then I applied for electrical electronics, and coming from the background of engineering background, none of my family is into agric. I could have cousins that have studied agric science, but my major family, my main family, everybody is just professor in electrical telecoms. So you look at that chain that, oh, you are the and being the fourth child. So everybody, oh, you are the next person to be telecom engineer, or that has been the shame. But
Professor.
now agriculture was by omission and error was given to me. I'm like, oh, you need to study that, or do you want to leave it? But for me, back into the university, I knew what I wanted to do. Right, going into the university, I knew I don't want to work for anyone, and I knew it's a tech, because back then I've been developing products and established my company. So, and 400 level was where I finally made it, that decision that yes, this is agric, I got to do it, and I have to be in school. Then our farm practice years was a 1 year off from school. You have to be going to farm. You have to learn the real farming systems. And I said to myself, how will I be coming to the farm? We just got to the state that all we need to just come and do is to come and water our portions and go back to the hostel. Well, like, man, there should be a better way of doing this. Then I was like, oh, with my knowledge of programming, electronics, you can create automation. Since I've already created automation in other sectors, that something like this we can create something. Then I just went online back then, and there wasn't anything digital agriculture in Africa, in Nigeria. I just like Google, like, oh, I see some Israel doing some smart systems. Oh, like, okay, I could build this. We could build something like this. And I went on looking at different sensors. Then that was what gave back to my final year project, which is computational system for creating tomatoes and using vertical farming systems. So then I created that system that whereby I believe that, yes, I want to be a farmer now, but I don't want to be a rural farmer. I want to be urban farmers. Now, the problem will be land space. How do we maximize the use of land and take up the skies? For me, was to create hydraulic systems that can allow everyone to be able to do planting, whereby you can still do your daily, either you're a banker, you're a nurse, you're a medical, so you can still be able to, from the comfort of your home, set up the system and automate it and come back to harvest. That was all the concept behind my project then. And the project went very successful, the prototype. Then from there, IIT picked me up, like requesting, like, I have to come and do my service, my NYC with them, send me to NYC straightly from Abuja. I was deployed to IIT. That started my journey. Now, when we enter IIT, the old system was still the 50 years experience and all those things. And then while like, this is time now, how do I market what I've created in school? Because it's a complex system. It's a complex computational system that is not affordable. Then what I did is I was to sectionalize every part of that project that now standing alone as a startups. That's why you see my company today. We have over 5 startups that is really entering into the market, that we're pushing into the market. So from there, from Farm Factory, we have what we call IWET. IWET is an IoT off-grid precision irrigation systems that allow you to monitor, control, and automate your irrigation activity. And at the same time, it gives you historical history about your weather, about your irrigation activities. Then I did that in IIT from my unit, which is cassava, and it works, and they see reality there. But you definitely know that everything has their own challenges. So politics came to be like, you are creating automation to eradicate human labor. You get? So, but there's a way God work out things for people as long as you're diligent in what you're doing. During that period also, I've happened to develop different AI systems for the unit. So now the final time for us to leave IIT after NYC, I happen to have the privilege to meet the director of IIT, the Sanginga, or the core member that is passing out in my set. And he gave us 3 seconds. Tell me, what do you want me to do for you? And everybody is asking for scholarship, job opportunity, like over 70, 80 core member. So I was around 93, and I was the only one that asked a strange thing. I said, I don't want you to give me anything. I just want you to invest in my company. I've created something that I believe can give thousands of youth job opportunity. I want you to invest in Maltronics. We've created products that have been tested on this ground, over 5 products. I was shocked. And I was like, are you a businessman? I said, I'm a businessman. And that's what I want to do. And that gave back to where we got our funding. So you look at it, and I display everything. Everything was customized for made in IITA. And it was like, if this thing could work on my feed, I'm ready to give more money for you and your crew, your teams. And I said, okay, yes, let's scale from maybe from like about 15 meters square to now to 1 hectares. That if the 1 hectare works well, that's all. To cut the long story short, that was the history of where iWet became a global thing, that we got a global support, and we've been selling the products. So what I did with iWet is that I don't want to scale my company with grants. I want to create a sustainable business. So like when I was with Quancoms and 3 years ago, and they were asking why my company don't raise funds. I said, I don't want to raise funds because I've already studied why most startups in Africa fail. So that what I've created, can this system sustain itself alone without not waiting for funding from maybe investors or social impact investors? Can I get clients that will pay for us, and we use that money to be able to run our operations? To cut the long story short, that's what we've done for 3 years. iWet has already been able to generate funds that bought up properties, that have created, we've gotten clients. Then we now look at it, okay, the iWet is not all farmers that can afford full smart systems. How do we now sessionalize this system? Now, my business knowledge have to come into by if you don't want to go for full irrigation, full automation, you can do semi-automation, and you can do full automation, and you can do partial automations. So is that you just taking our off-grid solar pump to be able to just irrigate your field, or you take our interconnectivity sensors and you use that to automate, and then that has been our winning ticket. So you don't want to use generators to irrigate your field, and at the same time, we are not looking for all the old farmers. We are targeting commercial farmers that have the capacity to do from 5 to 10 hectares above to be able to afford our system, because we definitely know how a little bit cost that can be, and the landscape that the system can be able to accommodate to be able to deploy. And that has been our story so far, to be able to now, farmers now start subscribing. And from there, we're now looking at, now it's high time for us to reach out to smallholder farmer. That's where iWet as a service now kicking, where I was talking with GIZ then, like, okay, we turn our iWet solution, the smart solution, to like a prepaid meter, whereby now smallholder clusters of farmers can subscribe, and then we can service them, then really reduce the price of setting up the installation. And that has been our success story. Among that, we are collaborating with other startups like EcoTutu, developing product for them, developing different Agritech products for them, to be able to maybe for cold chain systems, for the cold room, different systems like that. Because one of the things that Maltronics, sorry for taking time, one of the things for Maltronics now is that we have different solutions in our archive folder, and we can't market everything. And I have to focus in one particular product. But what we're not doing is collaborating with other startups that they have the idea, or they want to take something from our archive and market it, and we share percentage, which is like 50-50, or depending on what everybody is doing. And that will be able to help us to be able to grow our finance and not depending on investors. So far, so good. We've not welcomed investors into our startups, and we are operating successfully, expanding and doing other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Matthew. I'm so proud of. Don't close your camera. I'm so proud of you and what you and your team have been able to do in such a short time. They said the journey of 1,000 miles, it starts with one step. So when you say 3 years, it's 3 years plus all the years that you spent going around farms, developing it, and walking around. So yes, that's really very impressive. Now, there was something I wanted to ask you, but I lost that train of thoughts when you started talking about Echo Tutu, because I also know the guys at Echo Tutu. So what I want to say is this: in this journey, before we go to Mr. Tumishe, in this your journey that you have been on, the way you have said the story is as if you are not living in Nigeria, you know. It's like a smooth sailing, easy. You just have a solution, you market, you spoke to that man at ITA and you started marketing and you're just cruising. Was it such a smooth ride? What were some of the challenges you had to overcome to get to this?
Thank you for that. Thank you, Sama. Let me what make Dr. Lalu to be important in my life. I met Dr. Lalu at the point that suicide was the next option for me. And I was in a depression because everything has fucked with my emotions, and because I don't want to pick up a job. At that time, I lost 2 weeks to my wedding. I lost everything. I lost the wedding itself, and I was in the depressions. I was in the medicine, like, oh. So just because, like, I said to myself, and I said to the woman at that time that I want to be, that it wasn't, that is Maltronics. Anything that is not Maltronics, I'm not picking up a job. I just want to focus on this business. And she said to me that, do you think that this business can feed family? That you've been in this thing for years, and it's only that you guys make 2 million naira in a year. And I said, but I've never gone to bed without not eating. But I believe in what I'm doing, and this will open door. But if you don't see it now, you can go. But to me, I'm not picking up. Then I always have a job abroad. I have, like, it's a different international. Like I said, like, I'm not destined to work under anyone. I'm just that I don't want to pick up a job and I won't be fully into it, because I definitely know if I pick up that job within 3 months, I will be out of it. I will kind of like have to focus on other things that I have to focus on. Can you hear me, ma? I think my network was
yes.
Yeah, that I have to focus on. I have to focus on other things, but never knew that those period I have a godfather who was a German that has been directly kind of looking at the way I do my thing in IITs and compare me with other youths that I just know what I want to do. And this is what, because that what brought my breakthrough in 2004, 2024, that's last year, where we make over a lot of millions by doing Big Gift Foundation projects. So the project was to be given to international company, and the man said, my Maltronic can do these systems very well, because it's not about deploying solution, but this guy will stay through that systems. And earlier before then, like about, I think 2019, we did a cocoa project with, we're the one that set up cocoa project for West Africa on dying. And since then, we're trying to break even and written a lot of other proposals with him that wasn't we. But he said to me that throughout those periods in 2014, I've never leave him alone. I've always always watch my storyline both on LinkedIn and like it's just this I wet I'm doing and all those things. And when that project came in, I was like, Matthew, there is money in this project. Just put anything you want to put. So that raised our service charge from maybe 5% to about 500% that we're charging. And that was a big win for us. From there, the story is just all and on. But as you said, ma, it has not been easy. But sometimes you don't discourage anyone by presenting your sad moment, you get. But you have to because building iWorks, first of all, before I met the DG, I used my NYC money to be building the hardware and software, buying cloud server to be able to write the program, to be able to do this. I've had team that already feel I've had moment of downtime whereby people that you carry along as your teams have to opt out because of the way the journey is going. But consistencies and focus into one direction has been what helps me as a person, and being loyal to a certain mentor has been what has skyrocketed myself beyond my imaginations now, because I don't do advertisement. One of the things that our cultures in Maltron is that we don't do advertisement. We base on recommendations. So that's where anything that I lay my hand on, we're trying to use the best of the best and do it the best, because I always say to our client that we don't do advertisement, because it is your next recommendation that will get us to the next place that we're going. And that systems work well for us. And that has been what we are today and where we are going. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matthew. You know, I don't want you to tell a sad story. I really don't want you, but I just wanted you to tell us some of the challenges that you faced. And it's a good thing that in spite of those challenges, we're still able to stay consistent, persistent, and you were resilient. Still, God gave you that breakthrough. So there's in fact, what you just said now, I'm going to come to Mr. Tumishe now. What you just said now has confirmed the thesis that I have. As somebody who has trained thousands of entrepreneurs and I've coached hundreds, I have noticed that the most successful entrepreneurs are the consistent entrepreneurs. Those ones that focus on one thing. They may try it in different ways, but they will focus and say, this, you know, this solution I have, this furniture or this engineering or this mechatronics or this, that is eyewear, this is what I want to do. If it doesn't work this way, I try another way. And so you are another testimony that consistency and focus works. So thank you very much, Matthew. I will come back, but Mr. Tumishe, please share with us. This is not the normal panel of 2 minutes. This is a panel where you have enough time to share what you are doing, share your experience, and what can participants take away from you. Why is this person sharing the screen? Is this person sharing on your behalf?
No. Okay, can I go ahead while
please go ahead.
We deal with that? Okay. Well, my company, Real People Concept, we started operation 1st October 2010. And so this October makes it 15 years already. What we do, because I had background in chemistry, science laboratory technology. I am still into laboratory solutions provision. We provide laboratory analytical solutions. We also provide livestock technology. In the process of pushing these products, we had series of encounters with farmers, and we realized farmers cannot even afford these machines. Of course, we said to manufacturing industries, pharmaceutical, feed, flour, but for the livestock, it was a bit of challenge. But of course, we were interacting, so we got to know the challenges that farmers were facing. And we started with reproduction technology from a company, Dramiski, in Nigeria. I'm currently putting on their T-shirts that I collected from France. So that was the beginning. I was a chemist, and I saw a technology in reproduction. And that was about 15 years ago. And I
Wow.
realized then that this will be a technology that will help Nigeria to grow its livestock. Even as a chemist, I did not study agriculture. I did biology in school because, in secondary school, I had to choose between biology and agric. So, and I did SLT. But then as a science lab technologist, I saw that the technology would be very useful. So I tried pushing it. I remember I was, a chemist pushing reproduction technology to a professor of theriogenology. I made a
Wow.
mess of myself. Yeah, because I did not really have, the background. It was just a question that threw me off balance. But then
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, I was going to ensure I'm grounded. And so, though I made series of effort to study animal science, went to UI, I don't want to go into that, but the opportunity was not given. So in the process of it, I moved to Ghana, and it was from Ghana I started coming to Nigeria to attend lectures, and that was how the journey began in 2014. So I went to Federal College of Animal Health and Production Technology, more plantation Ibadan. I studied animal production technology. It was a
Hmm.
part-time program, three years, and
Wow.
I came out of our best that particular year, 2017. And the day I dropped my pen, I heard that Bowen University was admitting for top-up degree. The following day, I went to Bowen to find out, and I obtained my form that same day. Luckily, they admit every time, so they were already in second semester. So I was allowed to join the class, and that was how my degree journey in bachelor's of agri in animal science and fisheries management began. And I had that 2017 to 2019. Then COVID came. So we were able to finish 2021. Immediately, I picked up my master's form, which I finished last year. And this year already, my PhD also in animal science. And I'm focusing on reproduction. My journey over the years has exposed me to the challenges that farmers are faced. And that has really informed the choice of my research projects. I've tailored my researches to focus on the challenges that farmers are facing, and that has
Hmm.
really helped. Yeah, and my bias is in reproduction because I see that's an area where uh, we do not we don't have enough knowledge, let me say,
Hmm.
and we do not also have enough people who are knowledgeable and operating in that field. And because of that, 2012 we organized a training in Nigeria, and 2014 we also organized training with this Dramicki company in Poland. We took 22 veterinarians and animal scientists to Poland to go and learn reproductive ultrasonography in bovine, and it wasn't common. So we started this, and we've built capacity locally to train and to apply the technology. So in the process of time, of course, at the time I was also joining the FAO event in Rome because I'm a member of private sector mechanism of a committee of World Food Security. So since 2017, I've been attending CFS events in Rome. I just returned from one just a few days ago. So the engagement at the global stage also shaped, my area of investment in Nigeria. There was a call to end hunger. If we must end hunger, we must do things right. We must achieve more with less. And 2020, we saw the need to set up a ranch. And the ranch was to be a model farm. I've been to several European countries, like Doctor rightly said. I've seen how they operate. I've seen how their cattle are, kept in the barns, and they are fed there, and they are doing far better. They are doing far better. There are no crises, and I felt okay. We can test this model that is it something that can work? Can our indigenous breeds can actually be kept, in confinement? Can they do well? So we had that in mind. We also want to have a ranch where we can also train all our experiences. We want to tell others, because we can't, if you do things the same old way, you will always get the same results. If we want improvement, can we see how we can do things differently? And as we are doing things differently, of course, our challenges, our progresses, we share in our trainings. We also want to have a farm where um, we want to breed. We want to work on breeding, because AI, I mean artificial insemination in this case, has not really worked the way we wanted, and it's a function of knowledge. So we want to have a breeding center, we want to have a training center, we want to have a research for development center. So that was what gave birth to the Real People Concept Cattle Hub that is now operational in Iwo. And over the years, we've trained a lot. We've trained over 4,000. We receive students on internship, and we at the time we saw the need to encourage young people, because globally the average age of farmers is about 65. So that means we have aging farming community, and so we will expect less productivity, because their strength is really not there, and there's need for us to bring young people. Of course, technology innovations would drive, and that is the space we've been operating since 2010. So we established a program, Young Cattle Ranchers Internship Program, YOCARI. The program is to give, it's a graduate internship program to give our graduates the opportunity to have hands-on experience. So it's like bridging the gap between the classroom and the field. Now, let me just share an experience of what just happened just yesterday. I got some interns while, shortly before I traveled, almost a month ago, and they were requesting, they are graduate of, animal science, but they are requesting an expert who would put them through on the farm.
Wow.
Of course, they've gone to school, spent 5 years plus, to learn how to manage, animals, but then they are still coming out to, still work under somebody. So the knowledge base is not complete, because there was no practical exposure. There was no opportunity for them to build their confidence, in putting to practice what, was taught in school. So in fact, that really spoke a lot to me yesterday when I had that encounter with them. They go to university, they have the theoretical knowledge, but the practical exposure, is missing. And that reinforced, our resolve that we need to do more for the Young Cattle Ranchers Internship Program. So it's a 6-month internship program where they live on the farm, they interact with the animal day to day, they manage everything, animal health, um, feed, fodder, everything, pasture, feed formulation, everything that surrounds cattle, sheep, and goat production. But more importantly, we have also included in our training curriculum modern technology in reproduction. So we do artificial insemination in cattle and in goats. And currently, as we speak, we have the technology for semen collection, semen evaluation, semen processing, semen extension, artificial insemination, and pregnancy diagnosis in goats. And they are, taking through the process. They don't just see, they participate, they lay their hands on it, and that gives them, the experience, and also boosts their confidence. And our old interns are, doing fantastically well in various, farms where they're engaged. And their farm experience with us, has been a leverage, for the opportunity they have, to be taken, where they are working now. So we into let me say, capacity building of young people, majorly, of course, while we produce by the side, because we saw the need. We know the number of heads of cattle that Lagos consume every day. And we also know that more than 60% of the livestock we consume in Nigeria, they are from our neighboring countries. We have all it takes. We have the land, we have the people, we have our young people who are roaming around the streets, who don't know their left from the right, and we can put them, in the right path. We can build their capacity, and engage them in this value chain. So basically, that's what we do. We're into production. We're producing cattle, sheep, and goats. We're into research for development because um, we we don't know enough. We have a way of wanting to jump, without actually being grounded. So we are doing a lot of findings, a lot of research into what will make, especially our artificial insemination to be successful. Understanding the physiology of these animals, their responses to hormonal protocols that exist in town, how to utilize feed resources that are around us, to get the type of result that you want, and of course, also to breed. And I'm glad to also tell us today we had a calf. One of our cows gave birth, to a female calf today. So it's a great day, for us because, we already seen the results of our effort, and it was a result of artificial insemination that we carried out sometimes in January. So we're beginning to see results, and we believe that this will really, encourage more young people to come into agriculture. My own role is to educate, to attract, to to ensure that young people are also retained. Yeah, lastly, one of the things we're also doing is to help communities to set up clusters, for young people in ruminant production. And we're already working with Ofiki in Okeo, in Okeogun, in Oyo State, to set up clusters for young people, to go into production because we have the market. We just need to be a catalyst to tapping into that market. So that's what we do. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I mean, please, I'd like you to appreciate all the speakers, from Matthew, so from Grace to Matthew and Mr. Olawale to Miche. Thank you very much. And you know what I'm excited about listening to Matthew and Maltronics and RPC, real people, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting name. And another day I'll ask you why you're using that name. But we have just about 10 minutes to go. So I want to go back to the subject matter for today. I love the two of you. I love what both of you have talked about because you are doing very hard things. And hard things take time to build. There's no quick fix. We had a long list of questions. How can someone says, I want to deepen my understanding of emerging trends. What are opportunities in agri? I'm tempted to say that most of the questions we got, if you put those questions in ChatGPT, you get the answers. Because most of those questions are out there in the public. This platform is primarily for experiential learning, meaning you get to hear practitioners like Mr. Tumishi Olagbaju, like my dear Mr. Matthew, like Grace. These are people doing very hard things. I understand the challenges of livestock production because I've worked very closely with Dr. Shehu. I don't know if you know him. Ambuvet is based in Kaduna. And we did a program for Zoetis for about 2 or 3 years where we trained veterinarians on business education and provided mentoring services for them. So we know that your sector is a very tough sector. And for an investor to decide that, you know what, I want to develop the sector, not just develop it. You're also using technology. It's like you have a life sciences laboratory, right? And then you're also building clusters for young people. So your organization is working on like 5 major pillars to contribute to food security. It is a hard, very hard thing. So I just want to thank you very much for taking time to share. I also want to thank Matthew for sharing his experience, because he's also gone through hell and high waters to get to where he is today, going through all the challenges, building, and it looks like nothing is coming out of the ground. But eventually, he was recognized. So I really want to appreciate both of you. And we have asked that if you have questions, type it in. Nevertheless, I will ask 1 or 2 questions that I think capture most of the things. So someone says, how can I use technology to drive my agribusiness and be profitable? So this is to either Matthew or Mr. Tumishe, or even Grace if you have the ability, but I am sure that Matthew and Mr. Tumishe will be best suited to answer that question. From your own perspective, can you use technology and be profitable? Judging by all the failed agritech platforms that we've had in recent times. Please, let's hear from you. Matthew, if you are there, please help us. Somebody wants to know how they can use technology and be profitable.
No, I always like there's this phase I always talk about that. If you want to advance anything that you are doing, whether you are doing Yoruba or you are selling water, you are doing anything, if you have not infused technology to it, you are not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere, because technology now is a bedrock for any enterprise that want to scale beyond their where they are. You want to go from point A to point B to point C, you just need to infuse technology either directly or indirectly. So first of all, is what kind of agribusiness is that person doing? You get that will now be able to allow us to be able to focus by pinpoint direct technology that that person can implement. So the question is a little bit being kind of broad. So if we would like to know, like, okay, my agribusiness is poultry, is animal stock, is crops, then from there are different technological solutions idea that can be implemented in all these sectors. So we just need to know, have an idea of that kind of agribusiness, then we can be able to give our advice and also to be able to give practical support for that kind of enterprise. But definitely you need technology in what you are doing to be able to scale global beyond your room where the business is. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matthew.
Okay.
Over to you, Mr. Tumishe. And then Grace,
Okay,
I'm coming. Please be ready. Get ready, Grace. Okay, over to you, please.
All right, like Mr. Matthew rightly said, the type of agribusiness or the value chain you are operating determines the type of technology that you are going to use. But of course, there are some technology that are applicable to all. You know, we're talking about the social media, for example. This is a space where you can market your product. You know, I have several customers around Nigeria and beyond that I've not even seen. You know, I use social media a lot. I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn, a bit of Instagram, but I'm more popular on Facebook and Instagram. You know, I'm LinkedIn rather. I use the platform to promote my technology, my laboratory equipment, my livestock technology, and what I do. You know, I'm currently I'm having a training next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, on goat artificial insemination. And I've not gone to television station to advertise. I've only, you know, advertised on social media, on WhatsApp groups. And I know many people, you know, have applied already, and I know how much already has been paid, as registration fee to, participate in that training. So we have the technology, and we have the basic ones that can be used. But what is important is what problem are you solving? What is the solution you are bringing on board, and what is the right or the best technology to adopt or to use to solve that problem and to project. Because you need to, when you have a solution, it's important that you're also able to project that solution. Yeah. Having said that, now coming to the type of the value chain where you're operating. In my own case, we're into breeding. And we're into artificial insemination. I make bold to say that my company, Free People Concept, introduced pregnancy diagnosis as a part of artificial insemination service. We introduced ovulation or estrus profiling, as a pre-artificial insemination process. Because when people are talking about AI, what they talk about, AI has like 7 or 8 steps. And the AI, the dropping of the semen, is about the 5th, step. And so people always talk about that particular step. It's beyond that. The male you are using, the female you are using, their health, their nutrition, their body condition, and the fertility, window at the time you are inseminating, the skill of the technician, the way you handle your semen also matters a lot. For example, I do quality assurance for my semen periodically. I keep semen, and I check, and I don't even run the analysis myself. I have the equipment. I have a laboratory, in my office, but I just invite a third party to come and run the test so that, there won't be emotional attachment or, bias to my results. But I do all these tests. We do profiling when we want to inseminate. Of course, we have carefully, worked with some synchronization protocol, but then we want to understand how our indigenous animals in this part of the world are responding to those protocol. We do some profiling. We do follicular dynamics. We do we compare it with hormonal assay. We also compare with electrical resistance of the vaginal mucus that
Okay,
is
doctor.
readily
I
available.
want to say, doctor, you have to
Yeah,
wrap
so
up
that
so that we can wrap up. I know that if I leave you, we
yeah,
won't go away
so
today.
yeah, so let me just wrap up now. So this technology helps us to identify the fertility window, and we're able to inseminate with improved success rate. And with our ultrasonography, between 40 and 60 days, we are able to confirm if the insemination is successful or not. And if it is successful, you know what to do. If it's not successful, we bring the animal back to the breeding line. That helps, to shorten our production cycle. So these are ways we can, adopt technology to improve our productivity. And these are actually interesting, for young people. And, we'll be really able to attract them using this technology. Sorry, time won't
Interesting.
really permit us to go further.
We have to have a master class with you on livestock and artificial insemination, the science of it. I think that's what we are going to do with you. So I mean, you ended on making it interesting for young people. So I want to invite Grace back to tell us, how can we get more young people interested in agribusiness using digital technology? I mean, like there's someone in the chat room who is saying he wants to know how to use social media. What can he do with social media? So Grace, if you are there.
Okay, thank you. So using social media, using technology, first of all, there is like you using technology to aid your agricultural service. Like, let's say you're a farmer, you're planting crops, then you can use technologies, be it drone, be it robots, to aid your productivity and efficiency. And you can also use social media, like people doing vlogs, people creating content on social media. Oh, a day in the life of a farmer. You show educational videos on agriculture, what you are doing in agriculture. So yeah, that's a way you can actually be involved, use technology for profit. You can also use platforms, social media platforms that actually pay for the number of people that view your content, stuff like that. So yeah, that's a way youths can be more involved and educating them, advocates of agriculture, showing them that, oh, agriculture is not just for poor people, it's not something that is labor intensive. Nowadays, with mechanization, with modern technology, they have made the work way easier with automation and all of that. So yeah, so with that, I think pushing that out to youths will encourage them and seeing that, oh, it's a profitable scheme. They can easily opt into agriculture. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace. I love where we anchored in talking about the use of social media. I'm very active on social media. And I started being active about 10 years ago when I had an event and nobody knew who I was. And I know marketing, but I was trying to be private. So I now tell people that, you know what, I'm shamelessly on social media, but with a very high level of cybersecurity consciousness on being careful about what I share there. But there's one major thing about being on social media. You cannot go to social media and sustain your presence with fluff. You must know something. What do you know that you can now use the technology to drive? Do you see marketing? Is it sales? Is it about even any poultry or mechatronics or automation or coding? What do you know that you can bring to the sector? So it's not an all-commerce sector per se. People make it look as if it's easy, and that's why just to speak to, first, let me thank Matthew and also Tumishe again. Thank you very much. Both of you have demonstrated resilience, and it's your stories like yours that encourage people like me and other people that no good and successful business grows only on social media. No good business grows overnight. You have to invest. I tell people when they say, oh, come on, I say I don't have time. I can only, there are things I don't do. They said, well, I say, look, when I talk, it is not just me that is talking. I'm bringing with me more than 30 years of experience working on meaningful projects when I talk to you. So it's not just me. So what are you bringing to the table? Is it knowledge? Is it experience? Is it enthusiasm? Is it technology? So I want to encourage all of us that agribusiness has opportunities. And if you have the time, please follow Mr. Tumishe is Olawale Tumishe Olagbaju, PRC, right? Or RPC. And then Maltronics. Follow them
RPC.
and see what they are doing. Maybe there's something you can learn from them. You know, for me, I have a marketing background. I have broadcast background. So I've said to myself that, you know what, I know marketing, I know broadcast, I know media. Let me use it to promote business education. And that's what I'm doing. I can use it in fashion, I can use it in manufacturing. So what have you done that you can bring to the table? And that's what Heads and Heralds has done with the marketplace that they created for livestock products. And I'd like Dr. Olalua to share a bit more about Heads and Heralds. Maybe this might inspire somebody who wants to know how they can participate in agribusiness with tech. The marketplace is there. It creates opportunities for buyers and sellers. And then if you are interested, that might be somewhere you look at. And I would say that, Doctor, please, let's drop the link to Heads and Errors Marketplace. Let people see what is there. It's an opportunity for you. You might want to be part of the marketplace. You might want to create a marketplace for eggs, but there are opportunities for us in technology. So I want to thank Grace, I want to thank Mr. Olawale Tumise Olagbaju. I want to thank Matthew of Maltronics for the great work you are all doing. And we will definitely come back to Mr. Tumise because that artificial insemination thing, this is the first time I'm hearing someone talk about livestock as if they're talking about human beings, ovulation. It never crossed my mind that a cow or any livestock is ovulating. Wetin concern me with ovulation? I no make I see meat, make I chop. So thank you very much for sharing such amazing information on livestock. And I hope that you are all living with something today. Uh, we will try to extend, but at the same time, we just want to make it short, sharp, so that we can all go and have a nice Friday evening. So we'd like you to tell us what are you taking away, and if there's something you would have wanted us. Victor, I hope you have some information now on what you can do. Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. Yes, please, can the speakers drop their social media handles so that our participants can follow you? For me, if you just look for Dr. Helen Emore, you will see me everywhere. Yes, so please drop your social media handle. I'll see if I can get a link to my LinkedIn and share with you. So Dr. Olalua, a bit about Heads and Herald Marketplace so that they can see opportunities for marketplaces as well.
All right. Thank you, Ma, for that beautiful moderation. And thank you, everyone, for the beautiful insights, the success story sharing, the background, knowledge, and everything. I mean, it's been inspiring listening to Dr. Eline More, my mentor, my teacher, my mother, my everything. She's been super supportive. Thankfully, I mean, all the days. Matthew, I would probably wouldn't have met you if, Dr. Eline didn't recommend me for that GAIN project. It's that simple. So to say everywhere I go to, she's always giving, she's speaking ahead of me, she's recommending. So I can't thank you enough for what you are doing for us. And then for Mr. Tumise Olagbaju, you are an inspiration to generations, to many. You are not in any way, a push aside. I mean, I've known RPC for as long as probably, my 200 level days, or probably not too long after then, maybe sometimes maybe after school, and I see their mails consistently, mails from them, email marketing. I'm sure you can learn email marketing from Mr. Tumise Olagbaju, because he's actually good at that. And then talking to Grace, beautiful presentation is the beginning of the greater ones you will do, I can assure you. And to everyone that joined, thank you everyone for joining till this late, and I'm sure that the sky is our starting point. So talking about Heads and Herald, marketplace is talking about where Sheung, a beautiful team member, support system and everything. Thank you very much, Olua Sheung, for what you do for Farm to Fortune and Heads and Herald. Okay, so marketplace for Heads and Heralds was more like what Matthew has said. Tech is an enabler, and yes, people walk into our feed mill to buy feed. They buy feed ingredients from far and wide, in the country, even neighboring countries, Ghana and the likes. We now felt that rather than just making order manually, why not create a platform for people to come and place their order? We can dispatch to them, or they can pick up from our store, and that has bet a solution that he has now given us visibility as far as United States of America. We have customers from America now seamlessly. People just go, and when they see, they reach out to us immediately. Thank you for projecting that. Thank you for doing that, ma. People from America that we never know, that we didn't market to, but based on the advert of the marketplace, they now place order from everywhere in the world, pretty much. And it's seamless. It's a walkthrough. The walkthrough is seamless. You can add to cart, you can remove, you can mail, anything you want to do. Actually, I mean, you can do that. On the marketplace is a confirmation of what Mr. Tumise had said, and what Grace had mentioned, and then what Matthew has said as well. Tech is an enabler. People from America might not know us in a corner in Ekpe. We are actually beside the university, popular and everything, but it's still a corner anyway in the map. Thank you for showing a walkthrough how the marketplace works. You can add to cart, you can check out, you can pay seamlessly. Payments integrated, payment gateways that's integrated is seamless and is safe. Paystack and the likes, InterSwitch. I mean, we ensure that, and people that buy from us, like I mentioned earlier, they are outside the country, that are preventing staffs from stealing their money. Staffs will come and say that we want to buy feed ingredients. Let's pay for 10,000 naira. Let's pay 10,000 naira, but give us feed of 2,000. Now do a refund of 8,000 to my personal account. So we are saving farm owners of the stress of not getting quality or quantity that they paid for. So now any farmer can pay from America, UK, anywhere in the world, and they can get the feed delivered to them, or they can send their staff to pick up the quantity of feed they paid for. Invoice is automated. Everything pretty much is seamless. Is seamlessly automated, and you can get your products from the convenience of your room or from your farm. And we are trying to onboard other farmers, which is the new products we are adding. So give or take the next few months, we are going to incorporate that. So like I mentioned earlier, Oluwaseun is a team member, is a good team player, very intelligent, very sound. She's a younger generation, Gen Z, but I mean, these are the exceptions to Gen Zs that we know of. You just feel they are troublesome, they are heady, they are this and they are that, but Oluwaseun is an exception. She's intelligent, knowledgeable, and hardworking, and always, hands-on. She's part of the team that are working on this, and I can testify that the skies are starting point. Thank you once again. Thank you, Dr. Elaine, for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Olalua. Thank you, everyone. See you next month. We hold this every last Friday of the month at 6 p.m. Thank you, Dr. I can't help calling you Dr. Tumishe.
Dr.
I'm sure that
Tumishe is a doctor. Dr.
he's a doctor,
Tumishe,
right? Because
already.
I can't help calling you doctor. Thank you very much, Matthew. I wish you all the
My
best.
pleasure.
It's been a very wonderful evening. And see you all again next month. Bye,
Thank you,
Olalua.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank you,
for
everyone. Thank you.
having me.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Good night.
and
Bye.
good evening.
Bye,
Good night.
Matthew.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Thank you.